A very good evening. From stories around the world to stories here at home, this is the National News broadcast. I'm Vidhushni Satish Kumar.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we take a look at the headlines.
The President continues his discussion with villagers program. Former Defense Secretary regrets his inability to inform the President about the foreign intelligence warning on the Easter Sunday attacks. The Prime Minister has stressed on new education reforms. 4 suspects of Katana robbery have been arrested.
And moving on to the stories in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa launched the second phase of his program targeting rural areas in the Maithripala district today. He convened all the relevant officials responsible for rural administrative functions in one place and advised them to resolve the matters of the poor villagers as soon as possible.
අපේ විහාරස්ථානයේ අවුරුදු දැන් 45ක් විතර වෙනවා. පැරණි විහාරස්ථානයක්. විහාරස්ථානයේ ඔප්පු හදා ගන්න අපි මැනීම් කටයුතු කරලා ඔක්කොම කරලා යවලා තියෙනවා. දැන් අවුරුදු 4ක් විතර වෙනවා මේ යවල. තවමත් ඔප්පු ලබා දුන්නේ නැහැ.
සර් මේ පූජා ඔප්පුවක් හදනකොට අපි බෞද්ධ කටයුතු කොමසාරිස්ට යවලා අනුමත කරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ මැනුවට යවලා දෙනවා. දැන් අවසන් නදීරේ තියෙන්නේ.
දැන් ඔබතුමාට තේරෙන අවුරුදු 5ක් මේක දැන් තියෙන. ඒතකොට කොහොම පරක්කුවද?
අවසන් නදීරේ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? සර් දැන් ඔප්පුව හදලා මේ ඔබතුමාගේ අස්සන්ට යන මට්ටමට තියෙන්නේ අපි ඒකට කටයුතු කරලා තියෙනවා.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's discussion with villagers program was conducted today at Diyakaran village in the Maithripala district. Villagers from several surrounding villages were also gathered at Diyakaran to meet the president and present their grievances. Priority was given to resolve the land issues. President stressed on the need to resolve the long-running land deeds problem at the Hettipola area immediately. At the same time, the president pointed out that the situation of the milk producers of the area must be uplifted. He instructed relevant government agencies to provide necessary facilities for that purpose. The need of providing high-quality cattle to villagers was also highlighted. The president also instructed to create proper market facilities for milk products of villagers. The crowd asked the president to look into the plight of the kidney patients in the area as well. A large number of villagers in the Maithripala district are suffering from the chronic kidney disease. The president instructed the officials to expedite the construction work of the dialysis unit at the Hettipola hospital and asked to supply necessary medical equipment. It will be a great relief for the kidney patients who now travel to Kurunegala and Mahiyangane hospitals with great difficulties. The president also instructed the officials to upgrade the schools in the areas into the national status. President Rajapaksa also instructed to open the new vocational training facilities of the youth of the area. It was also discussed to renovate several tanks and reservoirs in the area with an aim to provide water to the cultivation in the area without any disturbance. There was Minister Janaka Bandar Tennakon and several parliamentarians who also joined the President for this inspection tour. The President discussed with the residents of the village and they praised the heads of state's initiative to look into the grievances of the people living amidst immense difficulties in these rural areas.
Now on other local stories, Sri Lanka Army has taken steps to build a new house for a family whose house was destroyed by elephants in Haldamulla area. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who visited Haldamulla last week, observed the plight of the affected family and instructed the army to construct a new house for them. President Rajapaksa commenced his discussion with villagers programmed from the remote village of Haldamulla in Badulla district last Friday. During that visit, President observed a destroyed house by elephants. He listened the grievances of the family and promised to construct a new house for them. The matter was presented to the Army Commander by the President, and the construction of the new house was commenced today under the observation of the Commandant of the Central Province, Major General Kirti Costa.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that Sri Lanka needs education reforms that enable children to conduct their studies freely and happily. The Prime Minister made these remarks at the World Children's Day national celebrations held at Apegama premises in Maithripala yesterday.
Muslim daruwa Muslim iskoola Hindu daruwanta wenama iskoola කුඩා කාලේ ඉඳන්ම දරුවන්ට වෙන්ව කියලා උගන්වලා අපි ඒගොල්ලෝ ලොකු මහත් වුණාම කියනවා එකතු වෙලා කියලා. අධ්‍යාපනයේදී බෙදලා වෙන ඉගෙන ගත්ත අය වැඩි යුතු උනාට පස්සේ එකතුව වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන ප්‍රශ්නය අද අපේ ජාතිය හමුවේ තියෙනවා. ජාතිය ආගම හැටියට විතරක් නෙවෙයි මේ දරුවන්ගේ ඉස්කෝලේ හැටියට පොඩි කාලෙම බෙදෙනවා. ජාතික පාසල්වල දරුවෝ, සුපිරි පාසල්වල දරුවෝ, පළාත් සභා පාසල්වල දරුවෝ, ජාත්‍යන්තර පාසල්වල දරුවෝ කියලා දරුවෝ බෙදෙනවා. පොඩි කාලෙම බෙදලා වෙන්නලා පන්ති හැටියට ජීවත් වෙන්නයි.
Addressing the gathering, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the duty of the nation is not to inherit the present problems in the country to the future generation. He pointed out that one of the major problems in Sri Lanka is the division between nationalities since childhood days. He said Sinhala students are confined to Sinhala schools, while there are separate schools for Tamils and Muslim children. He said it is pointless to encourage them to unite in their adult age as they are used to living separately from their childhood days. Divisions are not only confined to race and the religion, he said. There are divisions among schools as well. National schools, provincial schools, and international schools are some examples for that situation, he said. The Premier pointed out that he strongly believes that all kinds of divisions affect the children of the nation, and this should be eliminated. The Prime Minister further said that uplifting the infrastructure facilities in schools are not enough. There should be an environment for all students to conduct their studies happily and freely. The Premier said that it is the duty of the children of the nation to make the valuable contributions to the heritage offered by our ancestors.
අනාගත පරපුර ආපස්සට හැරිලා හිතනකොට අද කාලේ ජීවත් වුණා නම් කොයිතරම් හොඳද කියලා හිතන රටක් අපි හැදිය යුතුයි. අද අපි සියලු දේවල් යලි ගොඩනගන යුගයක්. ඔබගේ ගේ පිටිපස්සේ වැවෙන කහපැලේ ඉඳන් ඔබ පාසල් යනකොට අඳින නිල ඇඳුම් රෙද්ද දක්වා අපේ අතින්ම නිෂ්පාදනය කරන රටක් හදන්න පුළුවන් යුගයක් එළඹිලා තියෙනවා. ඒ මහා යෝධ කාර්යයට දායක වෙන්න හිතට ගත්තොත් තව සිය ගණනකට පස්සේ උපදින පරපුර කියයි මේ යුගයේ උපන්නා නම් හොඳයි කියලා. ඒ නිසා අපි මහජාතික කවියෙකු එස් මහින්ද හාමුදුරු කිව්ව කවකින් මගේ කතාව මම අවසන් කර. තමන් ලැබූ දිවි පෙවෙතේ කොටසක් රට සමය වෙතේ පුදනකුත් එයින් පොතේ මෙලොව කිසි පලක් නැති ඔබට සුභානාගතයක්.
Ministers and children representing schools in several districts participated at the national ceremony to mark the World Children's Day. A stamp and a first day cover were also issued to mark the event. State Minister P.L. Nishanta handed over the car to the Prime Minister. Environmental friendly piggy banks made by the People's Bank were distributed among children at the ceremony under the patronage of the Prime Minister.
Minister Mahinda Amaravira warns that stern actions will be taken against those who destroy forests and damage to the environment. He requested the general public to inform such malpractices in their areas to his ministry. Minister Mahinda Amaravira visited to inspect the alleged forest destruction in Vanatha Villuva area. The incident took place recently at a land belongs to Cement Corporation. A large portion of the forest area was destroyed with an aim to use the land for cultivation by a certain group. Minister said necessary actions have been initiated against the culprits. He instructed officials to plant 10,000 trees in the cleared land.
Well, 4 suspects connected to the recent Katana robbery were arrested. The police have seized a car and 7.2 million in the possession of the suspects. The incident took place last Wednesday. An armed gang robbed the residence of a businessman in the Akkarapanaha area in Katana. Over rupees 30 million worth of cash and jewellery were robbed from the businessman at gunpoint. The police said suspects were arrested from Kurunagala, Thamuttekama, Nikavarattiya and Gampaha areas. Rupees 7.2 million in cash and jewellery were taken into custody from the suspects' possession. The arrests were made by the officers of the Katana and Negamba police.
The Diyakaran, the oldest Tamil daily published by the Associated Newspapers of Ceylon Limited, gets a new facelift. The newly designed Diyakaran paper was ceremoniously issued at the Jaffna University premises under the patronage of Media Minister Kaheliya Rambukwella. Media Ministry and the Government Information Department today launched a special program in Jaffna district under the auspices of the government's manifesto Saubhagya Dakma. The same program will be launched in Kilnochi and Vavuniya districts tomorrow. The newly designed Diyakaran newspaper was presented by Minister Kaheliya Rambukwella at the ceremony in Jaffna University. A new children's paper was also presented at the ceremony. Minister Douglas Devananda, State Minister S. Vyalendran, Parliamentarian Angajan Ramanathan and Director General of Government Information Nalaga Kaluwewa also participated on the occasion. Tamil medium school level mass media workshop was held at the District Secretary's office in Jaffna town. Students who took part in the workshop obtained certificates from Minister Kaheliya Rambukwella. Secretary to the Media Ministry Jagat P. Vijayveera also participated in the workshop.
ඕනෑම ත්‍රස්තවාදයේ ඕනෑම මිනිමරුවේ මහා අයියාසිකාරයේ කුඩු වෙලෙන්දෙක් කියමු උදාහරණයකට එහුව සමරන්න පුළුවන් ඔහුට සීමා වෙච්ච වපසරය තුළ ඔහුගේ නිවසේ දානයක් දෙන එක කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. හැබැයි සමස්තයක් හැටියට සමාජගත කරනවා නම් ඒ සමාජගත කිරීමේදී ඔහු
The Alumni Association of the University of Colombo felicitated their former Vice-Chancellor and alumnus Professor G.L. Perez, the newly appointed Minister of Education. The felicitation ceremony was held at the Senate Hall of the University of Colombo. The event was attended by Vice-Chancellors, Deans, Academics and alumnus of the university. Rajiv Amarasuri, the president of the Alumnus Association, in his welcome address said the country expects revolutionary changes in the education system under the leadership of Professor G.L. Perez. Addressing the gathering, the Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Perez, said that each of the universities must be focused on the unique and different ways to identify their strengths and capacities. Well, the UK's new student route and child student route will open on October 5th, 2020 to the best and brightest international students from across the globe, including from Sri Lanka, the British High Commission said today. British High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Sarah Holton, said this is a great opportunity for students in Sri Lanka who wish to study in the UK, with 4 of the world's top 10 universities in the UK and over 150 universities to choose from. The UK offers phenomenal opportunities for students looking for outstanding personal development opportunities. The High Commission in a statement said, as a result of the coronavirus, some of the overseas students are choosing to defer their entry onto courses in the UK until spring semester of 2021. Introducing these new routes now means that the students will be able to benefit from the new streamlined process whilst giving sponsors time to adapt after their autumn intake. These routes will ensure the UK's world-leading education sector can continue to welcome talented and high-potential students to their globally renowned universities, further education and English language colleges and independent schools. There will be no limit on the number of international students who can study in the UK. This will help to increase the total number of international students choosing to study in the UK higher education system each year to 600,000 by 2030, as set out in the National Education Strategy published in March 2019.
Well, now let's take a look around the global corona situation. Well, despite leading the way in controlling the coronavirus, New York City was among the slowest areas in the country to restart indoor dining, something it is now doing at just 25% capacity, providing a small boost to struggling restaurants.
And moving on, the Food and Drug Administration widened its probe into a serious illness linked to the halted clinical trials for AstraZeneca's potential COVID-19 vaccine, sources told Reuters. While in Europe, the vaccine approval process has been put on the fast track.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is broadening its probe into a serious illness tied to AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine study, according to 3 sources familiar with the details. Concerns about the AstraZeneca vaccine stem from a study participant in Britain who came down with what was believed to be a rare spinal inflammatory disorder. Sources tell Reuters that the FDA is looking at AstraZeneca's development partner, Oxford University, to see if other vaccines designed by the duo resulted in similar side effects. Trials in the U.S. have been put on hold since early September, but not in Europe. On Thursday, the region's health regulator said it has started a rolling review of the AstraZeneca vaccine in a move which could speed the approval process for any vaccine. AstraZeneca faces a different scenario in the U.S. With the FDA widening its investigation, that presents a risk there could be additional delays for what has been one of the leading frontrunners in the race to get a vaccine to market. One source said the FDA is doing its due diligence to show it is being thorough. The FDA declined to comment, and AstraZeneca said in a statement, quote, "We are continuing to work with the FDA." Drug companies are under public scrutiny amid worries about the safety of a vaccine developed and tested at an unprecedented speed. To counter that, 9 drug makers, including AstraZeneca, have pledged to uphold scientific safety and efficacy standards. Finding an effective vaccine would be a major step towards ending the pandemic that has killed more than 1 million people worldwide.
Well, a shift from the coronavirus situation to more local stories now. Prime Minister Maithripala Rajapaksa today declared open Sri Lanka's largest pharmaceutical manufacturing and research facility at Pitipana, Homagama. It is the first European Union good manufacturing practice compliant oral solid dosage manufacturing plant in Sri Lanka. Morrison plc, the largest oral solid dosage pharmaceutical manufacturer in Sri Lanka and a subsidiary of Hemas Holdings plc, has invested a total of USD 18.5 million for the new research and manufacturing facility. Several cabinet ministers and dignitaries also graced the event as special guests, including Minister of Health Maithripala Rajapaksa, State Minister of Production, Supply and Regulation of Pharmaceuticals Professor Channa Jayasumana, State Minister of Skills Development, Vocational Education Research and Innovation Dr. Sita Arambepala and Secretary to Ministry of Trade Dr. Sunil Navaratna. The new state-of-the-art manufacturing plant and research and development facility is located within the Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology Park in Homagama. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court will resume further consideration of petitions filed challenging the draft bill of the 20th Amendment to the Constitution on Monday. The petitions were taken up before 5-judge bench chaired by Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya for the third day today. 39 petitions have been filed challenging the 20th Amendment. Submissions on the intervening petitions were taken place today. President's Counsel Sanjeeva Jayawardena, appearing for the intervening petitioners include Venerable Omare Kasapatera, Maithripala de Silva and Gamini Lokugay submitted that the 19th Amendment to the Constitution created an acute impasse in the system of governance in the country. President's Counsel Gamini Marpana, representing Minister Professor G.L. Piri, said that there is no need to hold a referendum on the 20th Amendment presented by the government because there were no referendums which were held on 19th and 13th Amendments as well.
The Colombo High Court today dismissed the case filed by the Bribery Commission against Minister Johnston Fernando over allegedly employing cooperative wholesale establishment CWE workers outside their scope of duties from 2010 to 2014. On May 19, 2016, the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption had filed action against Minister Johnston Fernando for causing losses amounting to Rs 40.1 million to the government when he was serving as the Minister of Cooperatives and Internal Trade. According to the Commission, the losses were incurred due to the minister using public servants for political and personal reasons. Former Sathasu Chairman Raj Fernando and its former working director Mohammed Fakir had also been accused in the case. They had been accused of employing 153 workers of the cooperative wholesale establishment for the minister's personal and political activities during the period 2010 to 2014. The attorneys representing the minister and the other defendants in the case had raised preliminary objections before the magistrate's court, claiming that the manner in which the Bribery Commission had filed the case was unlawful. However, the magistrate's court had rejected the preliminary objections and decided to proceed with the hearing of the case. Minister Johnston Fernando had subsequently filed a revision petition with the Colombo High Court challenging the decision of the magistrate's court.
The High Commissioner of Pakistan today held the awarding ceremony of annual Jinnah scholarships in Colombo. The ceremony was held under the patronage of the Minister Maithripala Rajapaksa. Pakistan annually offers scholarships to Sri Lankan students to commemorate the birth anniversary of the founder of the nation, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This year, 304 students received Jinnah scholarships. Each student will receive 50,000 rupees to conduct their educational activities. Deputy Minister Susil Premajayantha and High Commissioner of Pakistan, Mohammad Saad Katana, also took part in the awarding ceremony.
Jinnah scholarship to the bright Sri Lankan students, O-level and A-level. Since 2006, so far, around 2,000 Sri Lankan students, both male and female, have benefited from this scheme. Pakistan has been a proud partner of Sri Lanka in enhancing younger generations' nation-building capacities with better educational opportunities. Pakistan has been providing higher education scholarship to Sri Lankan students since 1976 in the field of medicine, dentistry, pharmacy and engineering. Hundreds of Sri Lankan students completed their degree in Pakistan and the program and now are contributing to the service of their great country. Pakistan has also launched Pakistan-Sri Lanka Higher Education Cooperation Program for Sri Lanka with a capital cost of about $18.4 million. Some of the activities that are carried out under this program are 800 fully funded and 200 partially funded Alumni scholarships, which are awarded to Sri Lankan students at graduate postgraduate level over a period of 5 years. Exchanging of 50 Sri Lankans and Pakistani faculty members to Pakistan and Sri Lankan universities to participate in research, seminars, conferences and other academic and research activities. 5 educational expos will be organized in Sri Lanka by inviting Pakistani Higher Education Commission institutions to introduce the Pakistan educational institutions to the Sri Lankan students. And of course, the establishment of an Asian Civilization Center in a prominent university of Sri Lanka. At the end, on behalf of the government and people of Pakistan, let me congratulate the students who were successful in scoring the Jinnah Scholarship. This includes highest achievers of all streams in A-level exams of 2019. I reiterate Pakistan's support, continued support and commitment to the government and people of Sri Lanka in their endeavors towards achieving a bright and prosperous future for their beautiful country.
Looking quite promising over there, and we have more international stories coming up, but before that we have an important local story that we need to cover. Former Defense Secretary Maithripala Fernando said that a responsibility to make the then president, aware on the pre-warnings made by foreign intelligence agencies on the Easter Sunday attacks. He also said that he regrets in this regard. Fernando further said that he assumed that former Director of the State Intelligence Nilantha Jayawardena would inform the former President Maithripala Sirisena of those warnings. Maithripala Fernando made those statements before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on the Easter Sunday attacks yesterday. The former Defense Secretary appeared before the Commission for the 7th occasion. The Commission inquired the witness whether he took any measures to make the former President aware of the pre-warnings of the attack. Responding, he said that he visited the President once in the capacity of the Defense Secretary, and at that time the former President had informed him that Intelligence Chief Nilantha Jayawardena had already made him aware on the pre-warnings. The witness said he had inquired of Nilantha Jayawardena on the ethicality of the process he followed. Responding, Nilantha Jayawardena reportedly said that he normally informs every fact to the President and the Defense Secretary as well. Accordingly, the witness said he did not take any measures to make the President aware. Maithripala Fernando further said that he inquired from the former President when he visited him to tender his resignation on whether Nilantha Jayawardena had informed him about the attacks, as he normally informs every fact. The witness said that the former President was reading a newspaper at that moment and he had not responded to him. The Commission further inquired whether the witness made the former President aware on that fact, which was given by Nilantha Jayawardena on the 20th of April 2019. The witness said that he did not make the former President aware, as he assumed that Nilantha Jayawardena had already informed the President. The Additional State Solicitor General emphasized that making the President aware is a responsibility of the Defense Secretary. Responding, the witness said that it is a responsibility of him and said that he chose not to convey the fact due to the estranged relationship he had. Well, that's it on the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care and good night.
Good night.